Okay, I just want to take you through this reaction that the Liechtenstein Bank has given to headlines today. It says that it is the responsibility of every person to ensure that tax compliance is done, and the government of Liechtenstein will not help. So clearly, unless these people and these banks and these nations are bullied and you use your economic muscle, they're not going to help you. If the government just sits back, nothing is going to happen.
For the simple reason that what is it that you sell? What is it that a Switzerland or a Liechtenstein or a Cayman Islands or a British Virgin Islands, or for that matter, what does Mauritius sell? It sells opacity to the client. It guarantees that through a waterfall structure, you hide the identity, you mask the identity of the client. So you use nominee services, you use foundations which are Stiftungs, you use shell companies, and then you reroute the money not just in Switzerland but Panama, British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, and this paper trail ensures that the identity of the client is completely masked.
Let me go across straight to Switzerland. Joining us tonight is David Leloup, who's been tracking the black money trail very closely for headlines today. David, first and foremost, congratulations on great ground investigations. This is the first time we're actually seeing reportage from Liechtenstein and Switzerland, which helps explain to our domestic audience why it is so tough to get this money back and why it is so easy to set up these accounts. But in the multiple interactions that you had with the bankers, the ones which were on record, we've played out, but the sense that you got, why is Liechtenstein or Switzerland so attractive to Indians at this time, and what is this opacity that is being sold to Indians and so many Indians are buying and so excited about?
Well, it's not sold only to Indians, but to rich people from all over the world, what private bankers call high net worth individuals. It means people having investable assets in excess of $1 million. Now, the opacity sold by private banks can be, for instance, an offshore company in Panama, Cayman Islands or Liechtenstein, behind which you can hide your identity. But the money always stays on a bank account in Switzerland. You can also pay a lawyer who will act as a nominee, so his name will appear instead of yours in banking and company documents. If you're very rich, you can even buy a trust in the Cayman Islands or a foundation in Liechtenstein. This trust or foundation will be the owner of your offshore company and will be managed by a trustee according to your wishes. Your name will only appear in the trustee's files, usually a branch of a private bank in a tax haven with strong bank secrecy laws and no register of trust. In that case, the only way for Indian tax authorities to get your name is a leak by a bank employee.
Give me a sense, David, of how this entire scam or how the black money architecture really works, and why is it so difficult to identify the individuals who've taken money and parked it abroad?
Well, basically, the more you will pay your private banker, the more layers of secrecy you will get. You can buy a basic structure where an investment company in Panama, for instance, is owned by a trust in the Cayman Islands. The company and the trust have a bank account in Zurich in the same bank. If the offshore company is discovered by investigators, you can quickly transfer assets from the company account to the trust account without leaving any trace because it's intra-bank transfers. But you can buy much more sophisticated structures like this one, which was investigated by the US Senate a few years ago. It's a very lucrative business for banks because for each company, the client has to pay fees for nominees, investment and management services.
So the way this is structured, Sandeep, and so fascinating to listen to David over there, it works for the clients because no one's asking tough questions. It works for the banks because for each of these bogus companies, they make money out of every one of them.
I think the principle is very simple. Have money, come to us, we'll hide it for you. And that is the tenet on which this entire thing works. The Swiss banking industry, I think, contributes over 10% to the country's GDP. For the simple reason that this is a service that they offer. A service which stands on the edifice of opacity.
Oh,
Nothing
absolutely.
else.
But the fact now is that United States has clamped down, Germany has clamped down, tax offenders in those countries have been booked. India cannot sit back. The matter has caught the public imagination. The government, like it did in the 2G scam, it can waffle, it can wait, it can delay, but there will be a cost to be paid. And I hope the Prime Minister downwards, there's a sense that goes across that black money is now an issue that is here to stay.